Welcome back to Woman of Wealth. I am joined by the amazing Snezhina Granat, and she is a woman who is dear to my heart, an incredible conscious leader, mentor, an incredible energy healer and activator for leaders around the world creating their empires through conscious energy, through conscious leadership. So, welcome to Woman of Wealth, Snezhina. How are you? Let us know a little bit about yourself and your work and who you serve in the world.
Thank you so much, Jenna. It's such an honor to be with you, and I'm so excited to be here today and co-creating, even in this lifetime, co-creating this beautiful world together. Because right now it's a time where we need conscious leaders to lead, to step fully into their gifts and their purpose. And I believe that we both of us are doing that and co-creating all these incredible experiences, not only for ourselves, but facilitating it for so many other leaders. I focus on helping conscious leaders create more wealth, love, and legacy. And I also work with couples, so I love helping people create their empires through sacred union.
I love to dive in deeply on women who work in energy. I find it really interesting to see your background and where you began. And you have an incredible career originally in real estate. And I'd love to hear about that experience working in that field and in that industry. And over many years, was there a moment where you realized you were meant to be doing this work today, or was it more of a slow burn? Like, can you take us back a little bit to that experience and also how you saw energy back then when you were working in real estate?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question. I was in commercial real estate for 20 years. I arrived in the United States when I was 20, and I was always interested in buildings and architecture, and this was just a perfect opportunity. But I found my gift actually through manifesting, and I always thought that this is something that anyone can do, and it's so easy. It comes to me so easy. So when I arrived in Chicago, I only had $800, and I saw this beautiful Lakeshore Drive and all these beautiful high rises, and I saw myself living there, and I'm like, oh, I can live there soon. And I didn't know the how, but then I went in real estate, and actually this was the first place that I bought was on Lakeshore Drive a few years later. So
Amazing.
manifestation came to me as a natural gift, but then I was doing the hard work. I was working like with no day off for 10 years, and on the outside it looked like a lot of success and doing all these multi-million-dollar deals, working and building portfolios for people because I love numbers and I love to help everybody make money. But on the outside it was so successful, but on the inside was the burnout. So through my manifestations, I was able to create a dream life, but kind of like external. On the inside
Mm-hmm.
was empty, was not fulfilled. And I had a lot of issues in my personal relationships because I was overgiving. And then I went to a burnout. After some years, I couldn't just not take a day off, and I ended up in the hospital. And I was just asking myself, what am I doing with my life? It looks so perfect on the outside, but I felt empty. And from there, I realized that it's time to build my empire from the inside out. So then I reached out to healers and I reached out to mentors because when we're ready, the healers appear, the mentors
Mm-hmm.
appear, and I was able to start healing myself internally, physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. And from there, a lot of my channels opened up, my intuitive channels. I could start feeling energy
Yeah.
and then seeing and all of that. It started all from there, healing myself first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love hearing that experience because that's where conscious leadership, I believe, really begins is with our own experience, our own story, and what we move through that then we embody from those wounds or from those patterns, and then we go on to bring the light of that to others, right? And be able to, heal first and then go on to hold a very clear space for others, which you do. You hold one of the most pristine energy fields that I know in my life, and get to experience speaking with you, almost every day, which is a joy, which I love. So tell us a little bit more, because I know there was about a year ago for you, there was a big mission came through, and it was to bring your energy and help 1 billion people, not 1 million, you heard it right, 1 billion people remember their soul purpose and step into their soul purpose in this world. And I know as well on the other side of that, then you went through a massive transformation. So can you share a little bit about that big mission and what you saw transpire? Like, what were some of the transformations that unfolded for your own life when you played at a bigger level, when you started to expand your mission to more people? And also, let's dive in a little bit on, the energy that can happen in that, because when we have a big mission, it requires focus. So I'm curious, like, what you found happened for you personally in this last year, if you will, in terms of the outcomes that came from that, but also the energy that you navigated during that time.
Thank you so much. So in 2020, I decided to leave real estate and the big checks and all these multi-million dollar portfolios because my calling was truly to help other leaders step into their mission, step into their purpose. So during the real estate, I was clearing a lot of the properties. So that's how I was selling a lot of the properties. And I was doing a lot of foreclosures with a lot of stagnant energies. So I was using my energies for many years to clear the properties, the land, and then find the aligned buyer. And through my own experiences, I was able to develop a lot of the gifts and a lot of the intuitive methods and all of that. So in 2020, I was called to help a lot of people now because I was doing a lot of the gifts on the buildings, but it's like, no, it's time to step into your mission and purpose now. And I'm very grateful for my husband because he supported me. He couldn't see how I would be able to create the income that I had in real estate, but he's like, whatever makes you happy, I'll support you. Let's go. And from there, I started doing a lot of private sessions, and maybe the first year, over 2,000 private sessions. And then I realized I cannot just do one-on-ones because I cannot touch as many people, help as many people. So then I started creating groups and retreats. But not until last year in September, like so many people experienced transformation, so many people experienced healing and in all areas of their life. But until like around April last year, I realized that I'm not fully stepped into my mission and purpose 100%. I was kind of I was hiding behind all the successful entrepreneurs. I was kind of like their secret mentor or secret healer or and I realized that I'm not stepping fully in because I can truly help so many other people activate their gifts because my heart desire has always been to create a better world, to create
Yeah.
new world. We don't need to fix the old world. And that mission came so clearly around the end of August, September, when we connected. And from there, it was nonstop. So I got this download that I can help activate 1 billion people. Instead of like the one-on-ones and the groups, it can be, we can really touch many conscious leaders and create bigger impact. So it doesn't have to be one-on-one. And as soon as I made that decision, you showed up in my life. A couple of other ladies showed up in my life, and a lot of TV show opportunities came. And from there, like I created my signature program. I started creating 100K months, and we filmed 3 TV shows within a month, which was incredible because 2 different ladies contacted me from 2 different places without talking to each other, but it's just in the field. When we fully step into our mission and our purpose, then the field responds back, and that's what happened. So that's the way to touch 1 billion people all at once is through TV at that point. So this was the most aligned way for me. in that moment. And a lot of things happened. I started working even with um, more incredible leaders, and less is more, like we always say. So I
Mm-hmm.
let go of a lot of one-on-one clients to fully focus on my mastermind and then speaking one to many, so I can
Yeah.
help many people awaken and bring more of their higher consciousness and fully step into their purpose and their mission. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I became pregnant doing all of that
Yeah.
nonstop because it was a big heart desire. Even though my husband and I, we have two kids and we agreed that we're not going to have anymore. But I always had this heart desire in me that I'm like, when I know I'm going to have one more, and whenever it's fully aligned, and me and you always talk about having it all, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like overflow. So now, like having it all, having the money and the exposure and working with most aligned clients, and now, okay, open more space to also have a baby all at once.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's also having that capacity, and
Mm.
we've worked together also on that capacity to hold more, to be able, because
Mm-hmm.
we can receive a lot, but then if our ceiling is low, then it's like we have the money and then we lose them. We have the love and we sabotage it. We have this and it disappears. So it was very important for me in this peak moment to have the capacity, physical capacity, mental, energetic capacity to be
Yes.
able to hold it all and not feel overwhelmed and not feel like life is happening 1,000 miles an hour, because it was happening for 4 months nonstop, and traveling and filming, and while I'm serving my um, mastermind group and being pregnant. It's like I
It
couldn't
all
have asked.
happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it can happen to anybody. It's just when we're fully aligned with our purpose and mission, and we listen to every signal and every opportunity that is in that alignment, and step out of our logical thinking, what
Mm.
is possible logically. Because in real estate, it's like first you make the money, then you buy more properties, then you make your portfolio, then you find love, then you create your empire. But in our work together, it all happens, all of it happens so at once, and we can have it all. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
truly remarkable just experiencing that, and then both of us holding space for leaders to experience that as
Mm-hmm.
well. Like it can be instant. We step
Mm-hmm.
into the mission, and instantly everything rearranges.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the powerful thing. It's seeing that it's actually rearranging because we do have the capacity, we do have the energy to have it all. We do have the energy to, like you went through, be filming TV shows and changing the way that you work with clients, attracting different clients in, falling pregnant, traveling. It all came through. But it's because your field was really stabilized in, well, this is who I get to be, and this is who I am. This is who I am. And that's energy work that you and I speak about a lot, is really coming back into that pure vision and being that vision. And I'd love to dive in on that a little bit deeper, because in your work, and specifically in your mastermind, in the Empire Queen mastermind, you speak to sort of going to the 100x vision and identity. And, most people see 10x, but Snezhina is about the 100x, which I just love because she's experienced that. You've experienced that. You live that, of the ability when we're really clear in our field and when we're tapped into our purpose, when we're tapped into our power, really, as creator consciousness as well, we're able to, as you said, like it's not moving from the logical realm, it is from the illogical field of energy. And that's where you can quite literally go to the 100x version and start experiencing that being reflected back very rapidly. And you and I laugh all the time about how things just, you say, okay, this is what I'm going to do now. And then something will just come through into your energy field to show you, like, yes, it's already happening. It's already happening. So I'm curious, like, what, just speak a little bit maybe to the clean energy there, because I know that that's going to be something that comes up for listeners tuning in, and it's probably something that you work with your clients around often, is when they're holding that 100x version, what are some of the ways that you help sort of keep them really focused and clean in that in their energy in that? Because it is easy to sort of say, well, maybe it's too much, maybe I should just bring the vision down. But you're proof that you don't have to. So I'm curious, like what you've mastered and what you've learned in that experience too of holding focus.
Yeah, thank you for this question because it's so important and sometimes we oversee it. And so in September, when I created my first signature program, the Empire Codes, I went 5 days into like complete like silence, complete like not working with clients, taking off and resting. So I went into that like pristine field of this pure creation for 5 days. And from there, the Empire Codes were birthed, which is the 10x expansion. From there, I was receiving daily everything, the codes, the course for the next 4 months, who the right people are, what it stands for. And that's when I met you, and we continued to fine tune the field and to hold that 10x expansion. So this pristine field is number one thing. When we are able to tap out of the logical thinking, tap out of all the distraction and noise, and I call them energy leaks, where if we're attached to a person, a project, even the collective consciousness of the fear and everybody's emotions, it's very hard to create that clear channel and receive that pristine frequency of our next like biggest download or idea or what, especially when we step into our mission and purpose. It's so important to have the pristine field, the pristine container, so we can receive that download really fast and then we can unload it because our brain is not so much overloaded with logical information, with logical steps. And before that, I was like in 7 different courses and masterminds and all like, so there was so much overload of information to the point that it felt dysfunctioning for me. It's like, no, this is not the way. And the way is to stay in the pristine energy and to channel directly from source, God, universe, to what is the most aligned program or most aligned method for what I'm here to create as a legacy, and what is this first step. So it's so important to hold that ourselves first and our container for our method or our mastermind. And from there, the most aligned souls join because they feel that expansion. They feel like I'm where you are, so I also want a 10x my love, my business, my wealth, my legacy. And so then we start kind of like weekly or daily, depending on when the downloads are coming, like creating activations for them. We still have our calls and we still have our one-on-ones, but whenever it's needed for them to come back to neutrality, to come back to that gut feel, to come back to their highest self and start noticing the distortion in like in the field, or when they go to the logical thinking, when they react to the what's happening in their life, especially if people like have spouses that are not supportive, like it's a big energy leak. Even in the most successful person in the world, it's a huge energy leak. And I've noticed that when we really identify those energy leaks, we detach from that and we start using most of our energy to create. So instead of managing our life, attaching to all of this, we use our energy to create. Then people go from like, I was working with a commercial construction company and they were doing 100 million, $10 million projects for many years. And I'm looking at their highest expansion and it's like, you're meant for $100 million projects. Like, why are you doing the $10 million projects? So in 1 month, they were able to land $300 million projects, just detaching from the spouse energy that was very draining, was very like filing for the divorce and all that,
Yeah.
and really focusing on his soul purpose, on his soul mission. And then it was just incredible in 1 month, finding the right partners, finding the right projects, finding like so many doors opened, and it was he was so ready for that. So this is what
Yeah.
is possible, and it could be birding new companies or expanding our companies or shifting the focus from our
Mm-hmm.
legacy. Like, what is truly our focus? Is it the money so we feel more accomplished, or is it the love so we feel loved, or is it truly our mission and purpose? The other thing is people's needs, because many times we run around all day to fulfill needs versus fully
Yes.
stepping into our mission and purpose. And having that legacy written down and clarity of what we are creating, like looking back, like let's say we're 80, looking back and like, oh my god, I'm so proud I created this, I'm so proud like I created that, and then creating that legacy. So like me and you always say, like, we can live it now, and having that
Mm-hmm.
really crystal clear idea of what our legacy is, stepping into that identity that for the person holding that legacy, and start seeing through that lens versus through the lens of what's the current situation, what's the current
Yes.
reality, and not running around on these needs. Because many people think, okay, this is my purpose, this is my mission, but actually it's a big need. I want to save the
Mm-hmm.
world. I also have that. I want to be needed. I want to save the world. And actually it's something coming from when no one was there for me. No one was helping me out at any point in my life. So I'm like, oh, I want to be there for everybody. But it's actually a wound. It was not my real purpose, real mission. And a lot of us run around all day long to fulfill, to be seen, to be valued, to be needed, to be loved. And that's not our purpose and mission. That's a need.
Mm-hmm.
So really recognizing what our needs are and really recognizing what our mission is and purpose. Because when we step into that, we don't need to heal any of that, because a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
practices they talk about healing yourself, like we're broken, we need to heal ourselves, clear ourselves all our life, but it's not true. We step into as the creator in our mission, in our purpose, and all of this gets taken care of. So
Mm-hmm.
all of this, whatever we're feeling that we're not enough, it's like not true, because there is the human self with all the programs and thoughts, feelings, emotions, and then there is our higher self. And the more we get familiar with the higher self and the energies and the expansion and the limitless of the higher self, the more we don't need to
Mm-hmm.
fix anything. So
Yes.
us
Yes.
working together has been tremendous because we know it, and a lot of people know it, but knowing it and being it, embodying it, are so different. It's like two
Absolutely.
different worlds.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the conversations that you and I have are a whole other frequency, aren't they? Which I just love. And people listening can probably get an idea of, the energy that we speak to each and every day. But there is such a big thing that you said there around that there's no more fixing, right? And you even said it at the start of our conversation of like, we're not going to fix the current world, we're going to create the new one. Because when we're fighting and fixing against something in our current reality, we're fighting against the mirror of our past states. And so it has to come back into the energy that creates the reality in the first place. And when you're really anchored in that, which you bring your clients into so beautifully, when they can really become a conscious leader and a conscious creator, everything changes from there. And that energy does infiltrate into all of those fears or wounds that, and they start to dissolve, don't they? It's like you and I have seen that happen so often where has a bit of charge to it. And then just being in that true field, it's like, oh, I don't even connect to that anymore. And I didn't need to sort of navigate down into a deep dive of it. And I'm curious because you guide clients through massive transformations all the time, and you're seeing, just like that beautiful example you gave of that wonderful man who went to sell 100 million, was it, sales in 1 month. Just the energy behind the scenes, because it's so powerful to witness clients in those breakthrough moments. And I'm curious, like, do you see common fears or patterns come up for clients when you can see they're about to break through? Like you can see their manifestation or their chosen state is about to come through, but they're in that field where they're in the logical mind or they're in the fear, are there any sort of common moments that you see play out more often in your world?
Yeah, so it's different for every single person, but what I see the most is that they're like a huge action taker, and they have
Mm-hmm.
like the biggest heart, and I see that they're meant for more, and I see the most common thing is like they're trying to fix the world around them. So they have this
Yeah.
mission and purpose, but the whole energy is focused on fixing the world, fixing the family, fixing the company, fixing. So that's the big switch, because the person that already has the consistency, it has the habits, it has the conscious thinking, it has the big heart, just switching from fixing to being a conscious creator, it's
Mm.
massive, because we're
Yeah.
not teaching people how to like have a mission or how to take a line action or any of that, because they already come like ready. We just need to change the focus, need to
Mm.
change that field. Are we repairing everything that we see every day? I call them like they throw themselves under the bus every single day and they get up the next day. So it's kind of like meaning that they just use a lot of physical energy, mental, emotional, energetic, financial to fix the world. And then
Mm.
with their big heart, with their big mission. The other thing I see is also when people have big hearts, they're conscious leaders. Again, the energy leaks. It's the spouse, it's the business partner, it's the CEO that
Yeah.
kind of like is a big energy leak, and when that is addressed, a big shift happens, because I already see their highest potential. But I'm like, oh my God, why is this person here and not here? And not like from a judgment, from like, oh my God, like you're meant for so much more. And just a few tweaks on where they spend their energy, where their focus is, and switching it, and just massive results happen. And even people that I see that some of the ladies that I work with is not feeling like loved or seen. They might be so successful in corporate, so successful in their businesses, but if there is something to do with not seen, not being loved, when we switch that, it's like you can give to yourself all the love in the world. Like your self-worth is not attached. So this attachment to self-worth, like our
Mm.
self-worth to give to everybody, or our self-worth to money or to results, once these ladies detach from that, like a huge shift happens. They
Yeah.
know like who they are,
Yes.
like as an embodiment, versus as an external result. Like you said, it's the external is always a hologram, it's always a mirror, and we're trying to change, like we're arguing with the TV, like, oh, why is this channel on, when we have the remote
Mm.
to change the channel, which is within us, and we are this conscious creator. So the expansion is always, I always see that people have it, but it's just their focus of the field. Am I operating from my higher self, or am I operating to fix myself or fix everybody, especially fix
Yeah.
everybody? Like that's a big energy leak. The partners, the needs, like those main things, and then just the shift is like quick and fast, and then holding
Hmm.
that, because it's very easy to get pulled back into the old, because I call them anchors, like our relatives, our job, our employees, our friends. They try to pull us back into these old anchors of our old identity, but then it's up to us to stay in neutrality, to recognize these anchors, and to accept people as they are. Because in my
Yes.
life, I've noticed that when I try to fix my family and tell them what to do and how to do it for many years, it backfired on me. But if I am the one activating myself, I'm the one holding the field, then I can see how they're being activated. And even my
Yes.
brother in the other side of the world, in Bulgaria, he, like, when I activate, he activates. When I activate, my
Yeah.
daughters activate. When I activate, my
Hmm.
husband activates, my brother, my mother. So it's so incredible. We don't need to do anything to fix anybody, but when we hold that field and we're done embodiment, it our whole lineage gets cleared, and our whole like generations to come, and then everyone around us, our community, anything that we do, we say, we touch, it gets activated by us.
Yes, exactly, because it's one field of energy, and so it has that flow on effect, and it creates that reflection in the quantum field as well. And isn't it so liberating as well? Like that, I remember I went through years of trying to fix others, or help them rise up into their power when they didn't want to or they weren't ready. And when I just really led for myself, and I created my own connection to myself and my own field, and I knew that then I was the embodiment or the example for so many others, but also my energy would ripple to everyone. And that was when everything shifted for me too. And you can't unknow that. Like once you experience that, once you live in this way, which is really returning back to yourself as creator and into your divinity, and then creating the world around us, not trying to fix or fight against it. One thing I have many of my clients reflect often is you can't unsee that. You can't unknow that. It's like, no, this is where I want to dominantly live now. This is how I want to be, because the shifts then happen very rapidly, as you and I have experienced so often. So I'd love to dive in on the energy work, because you just shared, once I shift myself, and once I'm coming back into my own field, then it impacts, other people, my family, my kids. And you hold incredible energy activations and very pristine energy, very powerful energy, because you're so neutral as well. That's the beautiful thing. You have such a pure channel, pure energy field. And I'm curious, can you speak to, after holding some of the beautiful energy activations, and you just held a retreat actually in Costa Rica, with some incredible leaders in person in the jungles of Costa Rica and on the beaches there. And I was, I could hear you in the voice notes, and I was listening to the birds and the wildlife there. But I'm curious if you could speak to the power of the energy activations, because I believe that conscious leaders, CEOs, of both, solo entrepreneur businesses, but also big corporations, people are collectively waking up to energy more consciously. Not everyone, of course, but many people are waking up to the power of working with energy, especially very pure energy. And I'm curious what you've seen in terms of transformation, in terms of the other side of someone receiving these powerful activations that you hold. Can you share some of the sort of behind the scenes of what transpires in your world?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, activations are something that is so special to my heart, because they're so powerful, and they're instant, and they're on a kind of like DNA level, crystalline level in our. So when people experience it, whether it's in a group or it's individually, there are instant changes that happen in even in their physical body, especially when we go to the retreats. We go to special vortex places, and this time our villa was on a vortex place, so our trips were very short to other vortex places, but just being in that vortex energy, and using the activations. And the activation is a specific download for the specific person, for whatever they need to receive in this moment, to remember who they are. Like we always say, like, remember who you are, because it's not something new, but it's really stepping fully into our higher self identity, into that creator, and taking our power back, because we give our power back to our economy, to our job, to this, to this, to that president. But when we remember the power that we have within, and we are the creator of that reality every single second, every single day. So we start activating depending on people's legacies. And the people
Yeah.
I work with, they have legacies, and they know, like, even though that nothing is like kind of like we change our reality every second with our choices, but they're so sure on their mission and their purpose. So with the activation, we activate different pillars in their field so we can create that full expansion, like we said earlier. So when we receive the money, we receive the love, we receive all of that, to be able to sustain that so it's not
Mm.
overwhelming, so it feels natural. It's like, oh, what are you talking about? Of course. Like when I was making less than 10K, 100K was like, what is this? Like it feels out of touch. But
Mm-hmm.
embodying that, and then it just comes right in and it feels natural. It's like, okay, let's go, $10 million. Like it just feels so natural. So when we activate those pillars in the field, that's how I see it, and I know each person sees it differently. We activate that remembrance, and the biggest pillar is the creator pillar,
Yeah.
because when we bring back that power of we are creating, and then let's say someone wants to be more like a public speaker, or someone like wants to create more love or whatever, we just create different pillars and we melt away, like you're saying, because as soon as we do the activation, what is in distortion, it starts melting away immediately. It doesn't take
Yeah.
years, like hundreds of years or 1 year or 1 month. It melts away. Let's say there is a pillar, I see like a pillar for fear, or for like, because a lot of people, they're feeding their field with urgency, with fear, with uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
to get a lot of things done. It's like, oh my god, I don't
Mm-hmm.
have enough time, I have to get these 500 things done. So we let go, we melt away these old structures in our field, of these old pillars of the fear, of the uncertainty, of the rage, of whatever we suppress in our field. It starts to melt away and starts to reveal it. I see it like this blooming flower of our
Yeah.
true authenticity, our true identity, and it's so beautiful. So instead of like living as a little bud flower, we fully like open up, and then everything is possible, because our authenticity and us being the creator starts resonating with the right people for us, the right love, the right clients, the right society and community, and it can be amplified to millions of people, or it can be 5 people, 10 people, whatever people are comfortable with based on their mission and their legacy. So these
Mm-hmm.
activations are instant, where a lot of the old modalities, and I studied like 30 different quantum modalities, and they help me create a discipline, they help me create the space and all of that. But we don't need that anymore, because these
Yeah.
activations come real time for the soul, for whatever they need in this moment for their path. And the thing is that actually we come with we come with no restrictions, we come with freedom. But then as we grow up, we have these like restrictions in our freedom through limiting beliefs and experiences and trauma and all that. So the outside world is only mirroring where we're not free, and they're showing us you're not free here. So instead of like, oh, they did this to me, it's like we need to celebrate that they're showing us where we're not free, so we can experience
Mm-hmm.
that freedom in love, in wealth, in health, in legacy. So that's the ultimate goal, to be free of that, and we can instantly be free by stepping into the creator self, into the higher self, or like how you call it, the God self.
Mm-hmm.
We are instantly free, and we have infinite expansion. So the activations are real time, and they help people on a DNA level to remember who they truly are, their power, their gifts, and then their intuition increases. So let's say someone
Yeah.
sees more or feels more, the intuition increases tremendously, and they can never be the same again. So I see people from the first retreat, the second, the third. Like one lady, she didn't know how to swim, and in one activation, she went 30 feet to swim with us with the
Wow.
dolphins. It's
Mm.
like things like that. It's like real time transformation, it's not something
Yeah.
to wait for. And then I see
Mm-hmm.
how people, like at the end of the retreat, they even look younger, because they
Yeah.
lift that weight of
Mm-hmm.
whatever is not free in their field, and their
Mm-hmm.
nervous system, and all, and like the organs clearing, all of that. So it's
Absolutely.
and it can be experienced online, it can be experienced in person, it can be experienced for groups. It doesn't matter where we are, like we always say, like you're so far away from me, but we always have these magical conversations and we feel the field. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
activations are real time, and your activations are so powerful as well. They're
Thank you.
instant.
Yeah, thank you. And that's the key though, isn't it? It's instant, and this is where I believe conscious leadership is going. It's remembering that we we can truly return to our creator consciousness in any instant moment, and that our field is that we are that powerful as beings that it is instant. We do see instant outcomes. We do see instant shifts. The I call it the glow up effect. You know, we have this sort of like almost like a reverse aging. Many of my clients look younger and younger and more healthy and more well, you know, the further that we work together, because it's just releasing what isn't was what was never theirs to carry, you know, from their field. And so I love hearing that about your client swimming and just the joy, right? It's really coming back into that true liberation state. And I find, and you've probably seen this too, that any of those sort of fear patterns or beliefs that were in their field holding them back from taking action, maybe on creating something or speaking their truth, it's like they just go ahead and do it, and like, oh, I just did this, I just created this today. And sometimes I have to catch my clients and reflect to them, do you remember only a month ago you were so scared about that, and you didn't even have to work through the fear to do it because the energy is just moving. So I just think that's beautiful, and I love seeing you, you know, hold space for your incredible leaders. And I think the key thing is that the leaders that you work with and that you co-create with are like truly mission led, and truly are here to create something beyond what they've created to this point. You know, they hold a bigger legacy mission, which is powerful. And I think this is a beautiful time to talk about the energy of wealth as well within conscious leadership. And I'd love to hear your insights on wealth consciousness, and really some of the codes that you've experienced around not just money but wealth energy, and how you've seen the perception shift of money and wealth change your own life, but also how you see this ripple into your clients as well. Because I deeply believe that, you know, we are all here to experience incredible abundance. We're all here to like circulate that, to ripple that to others, and to truly have it all. So, what have you navigated through? How do you see wealth and money differently through who you are today?
Thank you, Jenna. And you've also helped me see that even better with your precision and clarity. Because wealth, first we think of wealth as like how much money I can make and the money in our bank account, how much money I can save and invest, and how much money I'll have when I get old. But that's just one little part of wealth. Wealth is more of that freedom we're talking about, that freedom, and seeing wealth as not separate from us, like you always say, like we're not separate from the money, we're not separate from the clients, we're not separate from anything, because many times we take it and we put it in like some other timeline or far
Yeah.
away from us, we separate it. And the true wealth is actually the byproduct of us, like what I believe is fully stepping into our purpose and mission and being the creator of our own reality, conscious creator, because we're always the creator but not always the conscious creator.
Yes.
So when we step into that purpose and mission fully, not like typical, not like 10%, 30%, 40%, but more like 80 or more. We fully step, we're like go all in on our really like true heart desire, this like burning desire, because we have great days as like conscious leaders, and sometimes we don't have that great days. So when we have that burning desire, we have that mission, we have that purpose, every day we have that like, oh, I get to create and I get to touch these lives. And this is what brings us back to our energy level and our kind of like mission and excitement. So definitely the wealth is the byproduct of us stepping fully into our gifts, mission, purpose, authenticity,
Mm.
aligning with the right projects and whatever it's part of our mission, following that next excitement, next most aligned thing, and co-creating with like other people, because we want to do everything alone, but actually co-creating, collaborating, Like we can create so much more, we can amplify it together. So
Mm-hmm.
wealth is for me is like true freedom in not only wealth, but true freedom in my full expression of like my gifts and my talents, sharing them with the world unapologetically. I don't need to explain myself, and seeing the ripple effect in people. I see like real time when I was on stage in a few of the events. I see how people start changing and the remembrance in their eyes, and then they start going write a book. They start going
Yeah.
like and do something epic, and they might not even connect it to the activation, but it's like seeing that ripple effect. For me, it's true wealth. It's like creating this, and for me, like one of my biggest heart desires is to be able to create conscious schools for children, so then they can
Mm.
keep their gifts and talents. Because what happens is like when they're 7 8, they go into more the logical way of like the schools and the society, and they start kind of like losing, not losing, but not remembering as much their intuition, their gifts, and all that. But having
Yes.
conscious tools, they can keep their gifts and they can be those leaders. So for me, like not only activating billion people into their gifts and talents, co-creating this new world, but also supporting the kids to keep their gifts and talents. Because when we have fully open heart, we're authentic, we're in our higher self, we're going to create a better world. So why not helping the kids create a better world by just being themselves? So that for
Yes,
me
I
is
love that.
well. And
Mm.
then the wealth comes in, because when I was doing the Empire codes, I was not thinking, oh my god, I'll make so much money. I was not thinking about the money at all. I saw the Empire codes, I saw the frequency of what that Empire codes holds as far as like energy exchange for it. I
Mm-hmm.
saw the transformation, and you also helped me fine tune with precision of what the transformation is, who I'm becoming, who they're becoming, and the same for the Empire Queens. So it's like the wealth becomes like the money becomes this byproduct of all of it, and of course we can hold that higher container, because every time we, I see that people think like giving and receiving is equal, but I see that especially when I go to different places, and I'm called to go to different places to activate more of the Christian structures in Mother Earth, in people, whatever I'm called. Like I don't doubt it. Like if it's open to go somewhere, I just go, and I know there is a bigger purpose and mission. And when I help activate more of the Earth's remembrance, Christian structures, and I don't share that with people because it's like I just do it because I'm called to do it and I feel it and
Yes.
it's done. And then this whole
Mm-hmm.
area starts changing for the better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so then in the next 3 4 days, I received this like, I'll take you for dinner, I'll pay for it. You want these free tickets? You want this? You want that? You want that? Like it just
Mm-hmm.
amplifies in so many ways. Developments
Yes.
get built in a more conscious way. So when we give from our heart, and then it amplifies millions of times. So true wealth is that for me, all of that, not just the
Oh, I
money.
love it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the biggest thing that probably everyone listening here can really hear when they hear you say those words is that the money is the byproduct. It will fund these missions. It will fund the energy that we move from. And so, being a true woman of wealth is actually leading in our mission and leading in our power, knowing that we don't even need to think of the money. We know that it's coming with us because money will obey our field, and it will meet the energy. It will meet the energy. And what I hear you so beautifully express when you're speaking about this conscious school for children, and that gave me goosebumps, and I want to know more about this. And also, just the way that you hold the crystalline energy when you're called to certain locations, like this is you leading without any attachment to the money coming. You know it's going to be there. It's not a doubt of it. It's not a question of it. And then you don't need it. And when the need energy releases from the money field, then it comes, right? Then it
Mhm.
actually flows in higher levels because it's obeying our field. So I just think that's so beautiful. And I love hearing you speak to wealth in that way because it's how obviously I see it too. And it truly is that state of freedom and being able to come into our true energy field. And then where do we choose to direct our conscious energy, our gift, our genius in this world. Like, really, what are we here to do, and what is the impact that we want to make? So I always love to wrap up our conversations asking this question. And you have just spoken to wealth, but what does being a woman of wealth mean to you today?
Oh, thank you so much. It means to live our legacy now, not to wait for when we're 80, not to wait when we have the money, the love. It's just knowing why we're here and being that conscious creator and fully stepping into those gifts and purpose and mission and just going all in and allowing to have it all, like allowing ourselves, like allowing the freedom of having the love and the wealth and the relationships and the legacy and the hobbies and all of that to be in harmony with us but also with everyone around us. So yeah, living our legacy now, because when we live it now, then our legacy becomes even more beautiful years from now and when we're 80. So it's only like you say, it's like the baseline. Our legacy becomes the baseline of our day to day, and it's more
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling. And when we're in that God consciousness that we are so fulfilled from the
Yeah.
love, from the relationships. It's just
Mm.
this incredible sense of fulfillment. A lot of high achieving leaders don't have that sense of I didn't have it. And it
Mm.
was heartbreaking, but we can really have real love, real
Yeah.
connections, real fulfillment, and also like conscious wealth. When the conscious wealth comes, the money comes, and then we
Mm-hmm.
invest them into conscious projects, into conscious aligned actions, then they
Yeah.
amplify multiple times. And when
Mm.
we make the money through like pain and suffering, meaning like working so hard and draining ourselves, then we don't even enjoy the money because it's just we're
Exactly.
like paying bills, more bills come through. We cannot enjoy it physically, we cannot enjoy it anyway, and we want to buy this vacation twice a month, twice a year to go somewhere to relax.
Yeah.
Versus living our legacies like we're on vacation every day because we get to,
Mm-hmm.
we love what we do, we serve this incredible people, but most of all, we're holding that pristine field. We're holding that conscious creator field. So then more people allow themselves to hold that field, and more people see what's possible and they get activated just in our presence
Mm-hmm.
versus explaining and over explaining what that means. It's just staying in our presence. Um, yeah, it's so
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing that. And, I love the energy that you bring, the energy that you are, the woman that you are, and just everything that you hold in your heart and your mission, and how you truly see life and others in a divine way. And I believe that we need that more than ever right now in this world. And the conscious leaders are here, and we're rising and creating, truly creating. So thank you. Thank you so much. And I'd love if you could share with everyone how they can find you, how they can connect with you, some of your incredible spaces that you offer for those that are ready to step in. Let us know.
Oh, thank you so much. And I appreciate you and your pristine field and all the magic that you hold and help us with. So you can always find me on Facebook or Instagram. Snezhina Granat is my name. I also have a website that has all my offerings, enalign.com. It's EN Energy Alignment, enalign.com. And I decided this year that I want to help as many people as possible. So I have a Facebook group where I do monthly activations and instant transformation. One of the ladies, she attended the activation and she got the biggest bonus in her career in a few days.
Amazing.
So it works real time. So each month is different topic and based on what the group needs, and then some kind of like intuitive guidance on what you need. And then I have more of the mastermind, the higher end, high proximity space for conscious leaders that are really here for something like big in their mission, in their purpose to amplify 10x or 100x, whatever they're ready for. And it's called the Empire Queen. It comes with retreats. It comes with so much magic. It comes with co-creators, collaborators that are here on a big mission and purpose. For now, it's called the Empire Queen. It's just for queens, for ladies. But of course, we have four pillars, and one of the pillars is aligned relationships and love. So these incredible queens bring their spouses, and we create even more alignment there, because I believe in sacred union, and I believe that the sacred union can fuel all of our containers in
Mm.
every area of our life. So those are the two spaces right now, and yeah, whatever comes next, yeah, it will be amazing. But this is the space I have right now.
Yeah, beautiful. And we'll make sure that we include all of the links to Snezhina's beautiful work below and all of her social media profiles as well. And, you know, you just bring so much joy and power to everything that you do. So thank you. And thank you for your time today. It's been such an honor. I loved our conversation. And yeah, I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, dear Jen. I appreciate you with all my heart, and all the listeners. You can have it all, and it can start today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.